Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Toulianos, brought to you by his book, Plural, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and his new book, which I should be getting a copy of very soon, Training, Nutrition, and Supplementation in Bodybuilding. Please welcome from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Toulianos. What's up, doctor?
Hi, it's great. I start working out after 95 days, 100 days, 3 months plus 5 days. Yes. So I guess I'm gonna be extremely sore tomorrow. I hit some delts today, and of course my strength was down. You know, it's about 10 pounds lower than I used to do.
That's it. Just 10 pounds. Wow, you barely lost anything, huh?
It was hard because I suffered between the sets. You know, perhaps I need some more time, not only for the muscle memory, but for the VO2 max and the cardiorespiratory condition in order to catch up.
Yeah.
I believe by next week will be okay. So I'm doing a good warm up, and I gradually increase the weight. But okay, I did the shrugs with 75, but I used to do the shrugs also with 100-pound dumbbells. You know.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The point is not to get injured. You know, injured. The good thing is that it's the only gym in the country that allows showers, and there's no time limit. Why? Because it's extremely huge. It's 5,000 square meters.
Yep.
It's very clean, and basically there's no case to being crowded, because according to the new laws, we have to be the square meters and the people that train has to be 10-1, the ratio. So that equals 500 people that they know, 500 people within an hour, which is something that it never occurred, you know.
You sent me a short video, and it didn't look like there was anybody in the gym. Where was it?
Besides, there's nobody today. Yes,
Were they afraid? Are they afraid to go to the gym?
I guess so. Perhaps also in the morning, you know, the older people attend, and they're more afraid. But also the air conditioning and the whole ventilation is new. You know, they changed the filters, everything.
Oh wow!
So it's really sterilized, but people are afraid. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is better to train alone. You know.
Yeah, but I don't understand the gym. You took that video that you sent to me, and that it looked like a completely empty gym. I did not see one other human being in there.
Yeah, I could tell that 10 people were working out.
Wow. I guarantee when my gym opens up, that place is going to be as full as the law allows. I don't know what the law is going to allow as far as how many people are allowed inside at once, but I guarantee you my place is going to be packed.
Plus, you have to call for an appointment, you know. This is the point that sucks, you know, because they can set you in the night or very early in the morning according to the schedule, you know.
God. Wow.
Plus, if you not use the shower, you can only use the restroom.
Yeah. How about the locker? Can you put stuff in your locker?
Yeah, sure, you can. Oh, okay. But keep always the 6 feet distance, you know.
Okay, because I was at a gym. I drove down to the next state, down from me, Rhode Island, and paid to use a gym for one day, and you could go to the bathroom, but you couldn't use the lockers, and of course you couldn't use the showers. So yeah, but you had to wear a mask. You guys have to wear a mask?
Oh, no way. Only the stuff. Only the stuff. Okay. The instructors.
Well, doctor, 18 questions. We better get rolling here. Whew. Okay. This first one, I don't know if you saw it. It was on the MD forum on the questions for Dr. T.
Really? Okay.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay. So here's a surprise for you. Surprise, surprise. It's a weird question. What if you took an anti-androgen like Bicalutimide right after your last injection, dropping your androgens on purpose? And if it dropped it fast enough, like in a week, then the hypothalamus would detect low T and begins producing T. But since it's only been a week of low androgens, my guess is you wouldn't lose much muscle. Could this be the most effective PCT protocol ever?
No, it doesn't work this way. The HPTA stimulation works with lower estrogens. So if you take a SERM like clomiphene or tamoxifen or even a aromatase inhibitor, but under conditions where you know you shouldn't do any injections. So the PCT means that we have to get rid of the compound. So we have to wait at least 1 week according to the half-life of the esters. and then clean the system in order to kick the HPTA. So by taking this, what this guy mentions, it won't have any benefits, but will have will have negative impact on perhaps on sex drive, and perhaps you're gonna look a little bit smoother because when you take anti-androgen, you suppress the HT that has androgenic activity. So you lower also your sex drive, but you may look smoother because estrogens elevate when you cut off the HT.
Yeah. I've never heard, I'm sure you have, obviously, but this was the first time I've ever even heard the expression anti-androgen in my life. I'm like, why would you take an anti-androgen?
Means the opposite. So androgens are the anabolic androgenic steroids, and the androgens are the finasteride and the dutasteride, the 5A reductase inhibitors, in other words,
Okay, gotcha.
So drugs that castrate you for other reasons, for prostate cancer and for hair thinning.
Yeah, I would not go near one of those drugs. Here's a good one. In your new book, Training, Nutrition, Supplementation, and Bodybuilding, which, by the way, is great, I noticed your recommended bulking diet has 0 carbs for the pre-workout shake and also 0 carbs during workout. There are bodybuilding gurus who claim that usage of simple carbohydrates is a must during a workout due to the insulin release, which allows all nutrients to be absorbed by the muscle cells. My question is that insulin secretion during a workout will lower or block the secretion of human growth hormone that naturally is produced during weightlifting. Well, I guess that was the question. Is insulin secretion lowered or blocked? Does it block the secretion of HGH while you're training?
So from the second part of the question, this is true, and this is a reasonable thought. And actually, this was something that I asked Milos, and he told me that it occurs. The point is, all right, if you rely on your own GH, then this is true, because anything you eat releases insulin, and then we know that GH is released under low insulin, so under fasted state, okay?
Yeah.
The point is, if you're using exogenous GH, this is not something important. Also, in order to have your endogenous GH production during the workout, you need to be at least for 1 hour fasted, So you should rely, now the first part of the question, on your previous meal, which was actually at least 2 hours before, in order to digest it. So if you trade late in the afternoon, you have to rely on your lunch, okay?
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 hours has to be digested, and then go straight. Now, in the what he said I have a schedule what you eat, okay? So a pre-workout, what I suggest is essential amino acids, some HMB, some BCAAs, okay, some citrulline, for instance, some beta-alanine, but I don't recommend to have carbs there, especially simple carbs, because if you take simple carbs pre-workout, then you're gonna have a kick for a few minutes, and then you're gonna have a crash because elevated blood glucose will go down after the insulin release, and this is not something smart during the workout. Okay.
I'm sorry. So he had more to the question, but you sort of answered it. He said, "What is more important, in your opinion, for a natural athlete? Is it high insulin during the workout or high GH during the workout and post-workout high insulin?"
Beneficial. I guess high GH is more beneficial.
Okay.
And actually, after the workout, you have to wait for 30 minutes where you can do some cardio, or wait 30 minutes in order for the GH to work. Also, keep burning the fat, and afterwards take your meal. Okay.
Okay. Now this next question is about Milos. Somebody asked, "Can you please comment on Milos Sarcev's statement?" Apparently, this is a quote from him. Supposedly, I never saw it. 500 milligrams test a week for 30 years, no problem.
Yes, I guess that was the interview that Milos gave to Generation Iron a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So he said that he's using 0.5 gram of testosterone. That sounds reasonable in order to keep at 55 this shape.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it's that safe. Okay, some people can stand with elevated hematocrit, or they manage this because their bone marrow is not so sensitive as mine, for instance. But I'm positive 100% that 500 milligrams of testosterone, we kind of lower your HDL. Otherwise, you have to do 30 minutes to 1 hour cardio every day in order to keep the HDL high, and eat super clean. Do not smoke, of course, blah, blah, blah. So the two main concerns would be that, plus, I guess 500 milligrams of testosterone would need a little bit of aromatase inhibitor, at least 1 milligram, at least once a week, at least.
Yeah.
So this will further lower your HDL, okay? Of course, it's non-toxic to use 500 milligrams to the liver. To the blood pressure, you can manage it if you don't eat salt or if you don't take stimulants, okay? If you hydrate a lot, then your blood pressure could be, if you also exercise cardio, this will manage blood pressure. But the concern would be HDL, hematocrit, and sodiol.
I got a quick question based on that. If someone's been using steroids that long, and I've been using steroids for a very, very long time. It's been over 20 years now.
You told me you're cruising 400 milligrams all year round.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel that's how much I need just to maintain the way I want to look and feel. And I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I believe it's because I've been using androgens for so long. I believe my body is, not as sensitive to them anymore. It takes a higher dose just for me to see the same effects that I would have years ago on a lower dose.
If you rely only on your testosterone, then I guess you have to use 500. Now, if you take 250 of testosterone and 100 of DECA, so you have a synergistic effect,
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Next one, what is the best product to use for study when you want to learn and remember large amounts of information?
Now, this guy refers to what references book? Book references?
No, this was just maybe he did. All I saw was he wants to know a good product. I guess he wants to know a good drug to use for studying when you want to learn and remember large amounts of information.
I don't get it.
Is there a drug? Is it like modafinil? Is there like Ritalin? What do kids use? I think kids use Adderall for that. The young people these days.
I mean, sorry, to have cognitive function, huh?
Yeah. To learn and remember.
Adderall, modafinil or Adderall, yes.
Yeah.
Also, you can use some nootropics like nicotine, by the way.
Nicotine.
Yes.
Start smoking, kids.
You can chew nicotine, okay? You can chew.
I know.
Of course, caffeine, tyrosine, phenylalanine. Ginkgo biloba also improves the blood flow in the brain. We give it to dementia, sometimes to old people. And also ginseng, I guess Korean ginseng or Siberian ginseng.
Yeah.
What the students take.
Yeah, I know they go crazy for the Adderall. I hear it's all I hear them talking about online. Here's one. Could you ask Dr. T about the intracycle therapy with opioid receptor antagonists like naltrexone?
I never heard of it. I'm sorry, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, so using they want to know about using. Do you know this drug, opioid receptor antagonists? Are you familiar with that class of drugs? Opioid receptor antagonists.
No, so I don't know that class of drugs. So okay. It's I mean, to get rid of the how do you say, the addictive effect of opiates.
I'm not even sure. So let's move on. Next one. Can guys on TRT who use HCG substitute the HCG for Kisspeptin 10? If so, what would be the dose? And can Kisspeptin 10 increase serum LH even on TRT?
No, that thing it resembles triptorelin, which is a GHRH, so a gonadotropin releasing hormone agonist. Now, we use triptorelin in order to castrate men that have prostate cancer. But actually, as we said that before, last winter, I think, if you use it in very small doses under the guidance of experienced endocrinologists, you may give a kick to LH and FSH. The point is, as you use it, then it will be shut off, and then you will castrate permanently your HPTA. So you have to be really careful how to use it in small doses in order to kick your LH. And this is actually far better than PCT. The point is HG way more safe than that. Okay.
So second part of the question, he wanted to know, can guys with secondary hypogonadism take Kisspeptin 10?
Yes, this is what it's for.
Safe. So he wants to know, can they take that as a standalone drug on a continuous basis?
Yeah, but not alone. I mean, they have to be consulted by an experienced endocrinologist.
Gotcha.
Don't try this at home. Because you may have the opposite effect, and castrated for life. And if you're castrated for life, then you have to inject testosterone for life.
Yeah. So his last question was the dosage, but I guess we don't
it's
want.
not the authority to say that, okay?
Yeah,
and especially online, okay?
Kisspeptin. That's a first. I'm learning a lot this week. I'm hearing a lot of new words this week. Kisspeptin.
It resembles triptorelin, okay? Triptorelin. It's the same
Gotcha.
thing. It's a new thing now, but it's actually a GnRH agonist.
Every time I wake up, there's a new drug.
If you abuse it, there's no cure, It's over.
No bueno. What are your thoughts? Good one. What are your thoughts on the golden era diet that was high protein, low carb? The guys back in the 70s and 80s built a lot of muscle on this diet, but was that due to the use of steroids alongside the diet? Is it possible to build muscle on a low carb diet without steroids, provided you're getting at least 1 gram of protein per pound?
Well, I think this is what Vince Giroda, in first place, he was talking about. So high protein and high fat and low carb. Now, frankly, in the absence of insulin, you cannot build serious muscle, even with gear, even without gear. You need the insulin, okay? So keto diet, it may be effective to burn some fat, and perhaps also to preserve some muscle, because ketones are anti-catabolic, but also you have high protein. That actually the keto diet is not high protein, it's high fat. But under bodybuilding, if you take the amount of protein necessary for an anti-catabolic effect, which is at least 2 to 3 grams per body weight, so 1 or 1.5 per pound, this excessive protein that theoretically will elevate blood glucose through gluconeogenesis will be burned off during training. So there's no problem with that. But anyway, I don't think you can add serious muscle without insulin, without carbs. Without carbs, you cannot lift. Fat is not valuable for lifting, because fat is prolonged energy, taking a walk, endurance. You cannot lift with fat. You lift with carbs. You lift with muscle glycogen, which is relying on starchy carbs, okay, and not so much in sugars. But actually, because the anaerobic needs glucose, it needs fast oxidation, okay, anaerobic.
See, I don't even believe this is true. I don't believe that those guys in the 70s and 80s bulked up on low carbs. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing pictures of them eating. I would see rice, potatoes, oatmeal, fruit.
Now, if you do the Di Pasquale diet, the cycling keto diet, the anabolic diet, okay, Monday to Friday is low carb, and then you boost in carbs during the weekend, and on Monday you have a kick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this guy's confused. When he says that that's the way they ate, I believe that's the way they dieted when they were trying to prepare for shows. I don't think they ate like that in the off season.
Gironda said high fat, eat the yolks also, but I think he was relying on fat and on protein, perhaps, if it's like that.
Okay, next one. Is it true what some people say about the dramatic and rapid strength gains using halotestin, much more so than other orals? Is it the greatest oral ever?
Yes, I mean, all are oral for officially pharmaceutical grade for medical purposes for breast cancer. They had it also in Greece 25 years ago. So halotestin actually is 8 times more anabolic, 8 times more androgenic than testosterone, and 18 times more anabolic than testosterone.
Oh boy.
The point is it's not estrogenic. So there's no conversion to estrogens like dianabol or oxymethylone or methyltestosterone that gives you this bulking effect. And also estrogens favor anabolins because they make the androgenic receptors more prominent to steroids. They favor AGF1, they favor lubrication, they favor the muscle glycogen synthesis. That's why when we cut off estrogens during the cutting phase, this is another reason we look also flat. But anyhow, halotestin is good for muscle strength because strength is based on androgen, testosterone, halotestin, methyltrienolone, also M3. And also it gives you this kind of hardness because it also oxidizes fat, because beta oxidation is the result of androgens also. All right?
Wow.
Yes. So they use halotestin, the strongmen, the powerlifters, and the bodybuilders or the martial arts just before the show to give this hardening effect. It doesn't convert to estrogen, so there's no fluctuation on body weight out of estrogens, no water retention. So it's a good drug for having weight control, like bodybuilding, boxing, Olympic weightlifting. But it drives you crazy, and it's super toxic to the liver and to the liver. It drives you. It makes you paranoid. Yes.
Oh, I remember. Halotestin made me a terrible, terrible
Super
human being.
obese. Don't talk to me. I'm on Halo, okay?
Yeah, I have some horrible stories to tell, but I'm not going to. What are your views on DHB, which is dihydroboldenone? What can
I
one
never tried
expect?
that,
What the
and
hell is it?
it's a version of Bolden of a Q-pos, but I never tried it. By the way, Llewellyn has not included it in his book, so I don't know what this is. I know what the Q-pos or Bolden is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what it is. I
We
know,
had
like,
this question again thing. We had this question again.
I mean, NPP. We know that's like a faster acting nandrolone. I wonder if this is a faster
I
acting
don't know why
boldenone.
people rely on such special drugs and they don't try the old school ones, you know, the
Like,
basics.
we had this thing. Me and you were talking on Facebook on a comment. The most complicated drug questions I see, like
From
very
beginners,
deep.
from
Yeah, you
beginners.
look at their pictures and they look like they've never even set foot in a gym yet. I'm like, and they're asking these questions. You'd
And
think
they're
they've been on.
fascinated about the super duper things that make miracles, huh?
Dude, it's like they're Lord of the Rings or they're Harry Potter. They're just fascinated. Okay, so I guess that was the end of that. We don't. He wants to know how to avoid post-injection pain from it. I mean, there's not much you can do to avoid post-injection pain from injections, as far as I
Usually,
know.
post-injection is a result of dense and compact compounds over
Mm.
250 milligrams per ml. So for 400 deca or test hurts a lot.
Yes, T400, brutal pain. Should I use Cardarine before workouts during my trend cycle?
Now, Cardarine is useless for bodybuilding. The only good thing is the HDL elevation because bodybuilding relies on anaerobic. Now, before training of weights, before weight training. Now, if you want to take it for your morning cardio, that is a good idea. But the point is, when you are a bodybuilder, you train your fast twitch muscle fibers, the white ones,
Yeah.
but cardio deals with the slow twitch red ones. So cardio would be beneficial for an endurance athlete like cyclist or marathon or triathlon, but not so much for the bodybuilder. Bodybuilders use it mainly for the HDL reduction out of steroid use. But also now, perhaps the question is related to the effect that trend has to the VO2 max and the aerobic capacity that does. But really, the anaerobic training, okay, is not about so much of a cardiorespiratory capacity, okay? You take small breaks, okay? But I don't think that will have any substantial effect taking cardio pre-workout for the weight training rather than do a jogging, you know?
Gotcha. Okay. How do you count half-lives? Like if you quit a long cycle of 500 test and antate a week, how long does it take until you have 0 test?
Now, this depends on the half-life of the ester. So cypionate is the longest, then enanthate, then it's, I'm sorry. It's andecaunate.
Andeconate, yeah.
Yeah, or decaunate. And then also it's the Q-pos, the boldenone andecyclinate. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Then it comes the cypionate, the enanthate, the propionate, the acetate, and the suspension. But also it's a result of how much you're using. Okay, if you use 250 of enanthate, perhaps it needs 1 week. If you use 500, then perhaps it needs 10 days. Okay, so roughly, I guess it's the most could be 2 to 3 weeks if you're using slow esters like Nembido or Deca or Q-pos.
Well, I mean, like DECA shows up in your blood work for months and months after, so the
18
half-life.
months for the doping control.
Yeah. So
But
what about testananthate? Would testananthate keep showing up in your blood for a long time?
Well, the enanthate is faster than the decaunate.
Right.
Okay, but I think that after 10 days or at least or the most 2 weeks, you don't have the effects of enanthate within you. You can feel you need your shot again.
He said, related to that, how would coming off for 4 to 5 weeks do anything for the receptors? Shouldn't it take several months?
Now, the receptors, I think they also could be familiar to the HPTA. So when your HPTA elevates, improves, I guess also your androgen receptors will be ready to suck up again the drug. All right. So perhaps six months would be the best for HPTA elevation again and restart, you know. So it would be better for the receptors to be totally unaffected and empty, you know, in order to be virgin again, you know.
Fresh, nice and fresh.
Yeah, fresh.
Is it true that if you take metformin, you won't grow?
Theoretically, yes, because it lowers mTOR and IGF-1. And especially if you're taking growth hormone, it wouldn't be a good idea alongside to take metformin to lower your insulin resistance. That's why you take berberine or chromium or vanadyl sulfate or lipoic acid, not to mimic your insulin. But listen, if you take serious gear, then I don't think that metformin will have an impact on that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, question for both. What is you can go first. What is your fat intake and what source in the off season and on season? And then I'm not sure about this thing. Why add egg yolks in a shredding diet for contest prep when we know egg yolks have little or no influence on blood cholesterol? Forget the egg yolk part. So your fat intake.
Egg yolks, you know, are really nutritious, huh? It's really dense.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
you don't have to stop it. I mean, okay, it has 7 grams of fat, so I mean, 63 calories are a big deal.
I mean, I've been eating whole eggs, 4 whole eggs every morning for years and years. Even when I want to get lean, I still keep eating whole eggs. They don't stop me from getting lean. But where do you get your fats from, doctor, in your diet?
Always unsaturated. Okay, which either poly or mono unsaturated. So it's nuts, but any kind, walnuts, nuts, macadamia, Brazilian, okay, almonds, cashews, sesame, also olive oil, and then of course fatty fish. So omega-3, 6, and 9. Olive oil is omega-9, omega-6 are the nuts, and omega-3 are the fishes.
Yeah, pretty much exactly same with
never
me.
Fry, all year round, never fry food, and rarely saturated from red meat. Okay, if I eat red meat, I take the leanest cuts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have like a sirloin burger, just the patty, usually almost every night. Salmon, nuts, whole eggs.
In the States, I had this bison burger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, I get it in here in Greece. Okay, turkey also, yes.
Yeah, I haven't had bison in a long time. It's very expensive. What's your opinion on bromocriptine for fat loss? Is it really true this drug interacts with leptin? Is it worth it?
I heard some reference. I read some links online that they agree that it may help you with that. But another thought that I had is that prolactin elevates appetite. Now, prolactin is elevated also either by DECA, that, by the way, DECA works with high calories, but also ejaculation elevates prolactin. That's why some people believe that post-sex, you want to rush to the fridge and eat something. Oh. So lowering prolactin will have a suppression on your appetite, according to this theory.
Okay. So it could work, this bromo. I mean, why isn't it, if it really was that effective?
Don't mess up with your prolactin with your hormones, you know. If it's elevated, okay, but don't take bromocriptine for the sake of the fat loss, okay? Don't mess it up.
So people want to take every drug for fat loss, everything. We're getting a lot more of those questions as it's summertime. Have you noticed? Okay, here's a good one. My friend is 300 pounds, 6'2". A couple years back, he had his thyroid removed and is on 150 milligrams of T4, thyroxine. A few months ago, he started doing TRT at 200 milligrams a sip a week. But while trying hard with diets and calorie restrictions, he made small weight loss and a big improvement in his mental state and motivation, also helping calorie management. Is there a way he can add T3 to help boost the weight loss, or potentially HGH also?
I think it's safer to add GH, but the point is, if you add GH, then you may have to adjust your T4 dose perhaps a little bit. Otherwise, have a look on your TSH how it goes. But I don't think it would be safe for the heart to add T3 along with T4.
Okay.
Now, if some bodybuilders do it in low doses of both, you know, because T3 is more potent, more effective, but has an effect on arrhythmia on the heart, on the myocardium.
Mm.
So you can add some G8s, but ask your endocrinologist who put you on T4 if you can add a little bit of T3.
Gotcha. Okay. Next guy says, I'm currently doing TRT. I'm taking 160 milligrams a week. Do you think it's necessary to take HCG? I'm taking 5 milligrams of HCG. Do you think I need to be taking it with my dosage or any at all? Also, I'm taking half a milligram of anastrozole. Do you think I should need to take both the HCG and the anastrozole? Any advice would be great.
So first of all, 160 do not require any anastrozole. I don't think so.
Yeah.
You have more side effects rather than benefits. Now, HCG is not 5 milligrams. It's, I guess, 500 IUs because it's measured, it's counted in IUs.
Yeah.
So you can use 150 of testosterone along with 500 of HCG the same day. It would be more convenient. And take off the aromatase inhibitor. You don't need that.
Okay.
Now, of course, theoretically, HCG can lead to elevation of estrogens, not from the peptide itself, but from the endogenous elevation of testosterone in the testicles.
Yeah.
The free testosterone that will aromatize, but I don't think it's so important in order to need to take an aromatase inhibitor for that.
And the last, he also added at the very end, I heard if I don't take HCG over time, my testicles will shrink. Is this true?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. But you know what?
Definitely.
I don't know why people care. Who cares how big your balls are? Really? I don't care.
But some people find it more convenient to take the whole thing in the mouth.
Oh God, we're gonna get in trouble. I better move right on. Using testosterone and nanthate, 400 milligrams a week, 2 shots a week. Thinking of PCT to start in week 8, twice a week, 250 cc's. Oh God, see how confused they are with the cc's and the IU's and the milligrams? HCG, that's 500 cc a week for 4 weeks. First of all, gentlemen, cc's is a lot more than IU. You got to figure out your math before you start messing with these drugs, people. Then week 12, start PCT with Nolvadex for 4 weeks. Do you think it's okay or add Clomid or change PCT? I was confused, doctor. I don't know if you understood. Are they going to keep taking the test or are they stopping the test?
So can you make it more simple and tell me what is the question? What the question is?
You know what? I can't, so I'm going to skip it because everybody out there, the doctor answers your questions, but we have to be able to understand the question. If English isn't your first language, get somebody to help you because unfortunately, doctor speaks several languages. I only speak English, so we do these in English. And if we can't understand your question, we can't answer it. So let's go to the last question, which was the buzzer beater. This came yesterday. This was the last minute question. How can I use Clenbuterol for 1 month with ketotofen? The problem is I found only eye drops available of ketotofen, 0.25 milligrams. Can I stack Clenbuterol with anything else and how? What's ketotofen? I don't even know what that is.
Ketotofen is
Ketotofen, yeah.
Anti-asthmatic medication,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not bronchodilator. Okay, it works. It's actually looks it's sort of antihistaminic. That histamine is released during allergic reactions.
Okay.
So ketotiferoxaditin, which is the brand name, is given along with clenbuterol in order to prevent the saturation effect. And some people get accustomed and they need to increase the dose. That's why I'm telling them 2 days on, 2 days off. Okay.
Yeah.
2 days actually is required for the drug half-life to get out of the system. Otherwise, you have to week by week to elevate the dose, and then you have the side effects. Now, this guy says that it comes in drops, in eye drops, perhaps.
Eye drops? What the hell?
Take these eye drops sublingually, okay, but do not exceed the recommended dose in the instructions paper, which is enclosed in the box. All right, but I would rather rely on pure clenbuterol 2 days on, 2 days off. Now, if you want to stack them both, then be careful about the side effects in the blood pressure and the heart rhythm, okay? And another thing, what can be stuck with, I mean, Clenbuterol T3 is the most potent fat-burning stack, either more potent and stronger than, more effective than ECA stack. Other side effects, of course, in stimulants that they can send you to the ER. Yeah. It's better to diet hard and to do cardio rather than take super stimulants, because, you know, I think apart from DMP, nothing is so effective in fat burning. Of course, DMP is a poison, right. But you cannot eat junk like a pig and take your Clen, your thyroid medication, your amphetamines, your ephedrine, and you know, besides, you wouldn't be able to sleep, and this will suck on your recovery, okay? And you'll collapse because your central or your CNS would be damaged, you know? You're gonna have a breakdown. You're gonna be like a zombie for the sake of sweating and burning calories. This is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I've even heard people who use DNP while they're dieting just so that they can eat more cheat meals, have more junk food.
So these are jerk-offs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, oh, dude. Find another sport. Go to golf or tennis.
This is not the mentality of bodybuilding, you know, to eat a pizza and then take your Clen or take your T3 or take your amphetamine, your ephedrine.
Yeah, that's drug abuse. That's, now you're just a drug. You're just a drug abuser. When you cannot
diet, you're not mentally good for this sport, okay?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I say it all the time. There's a lot of people now who compete, and if you told them you can't have any cheat meals, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't diet. Say, nope, I need my cheat meals. Need them. You know, in the old days, I'm a little older than you. I remember that word, that phrase, cheat meal, did not even exist. We never heard that. People.
King Kamali said that Kevin Levroni was straight 6 weeks on fish and vegetables.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That's why he was like that, you know?
Yeah.
He peeled head to toes, front and rear, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that takes a lot to go 6 weeks on fish and vegetables only. That's brutal. It's
pounds. Come on, this is
mentally, it's just punishing, but the strong survive and the strong will do it. And the weak
ketones, you know?
They won't. Well, that's all the questions, Doctor. Remember, guys, please leave your questions in the comments under here and try to make them so that we can understand them. We want to help you. We want to answer your questions. The doctor is doing a great service here, but we got to understand the questions. Also want to make sure you guys check out every Tuesday on Muscular Development is Dr. T Tuesday. Comes out with a brand new article on the website to go along with these videos, which we post. What's this week's article about, Doctor?
Aromatase inhibitors.
Aromatase inhibitors. We've got a lot of questions about those, so this will be good for you guys to read it. That's going to be on musculardevelopment.com. Check that out. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and check out the doctor's website, gtoul.com. You can get his books there or on amazon.com. And that's it. Thank you, Doctor. Welcome back to the gym. I'm glad you're back in the gym. You must be psyched. You're going to be there every day, right?
Oh, sure, yes.
You should do 99 days in a row to make up for the 99 days you missed.
No, shit. Yes. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you, Doctor. Thanks, everyone, for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone, and we'll see you next time.